Hello everyone, today we are making a review of this breville Pro. This is a really unpopular coffee machine. Breville is a well-known brand of coffee machine, but this one is not so popular, and I think it should be more popular. It was my first espresso machine, and I still use it sometimes, like those times. This is a €400 machine, and for me it's the best entry-level machine. On the machine you have a built-in grinder, just like on the other breville product. You have 30 steps of size. You can just adjust it like that. I was on 10, and honestly this is really enough. I used this machine for I have it for 3 years, but I used it for almost 2 years, and honestly I never truly encountered a time where I couldn't really dial in the coffee. This is a conical burr, the same as in the other breville grinder, like the breville Smart Pro grinder. And you can single dose on this. If you don't buy a little blower attachment, this is a little tricky, because you need to tap, or just I will show you in a minute. It's not that difficult, but it's really annoying. But you can do it. I did it for quite some time. So you have a cup tray on top. It's a bit heated, but don't expect it to hit your cup or whatever. You have no real cup rating on this machine. The same goes for the portafilter. You cannot leave it in the group. It won't really get heated, because if you want to leave the machine on, after 2 minutes it will go off. So maybe you can get it up to 30 degrees, but not more than that. If you really want to have a proper heated portafilter, you should run a blank shot. But for me personally, I'm not doing this. I'm brewing mostly medium roast, and mostly in milk drink, so I don't have this issue. On the back you have the reservoir. It's 2.8 liter capacity. It's rated for 2.8 liter, but you can even go a bit higher to 3 liter capacity. You cannot use a filtering cartouche directly inside the reservoir, so you need to have a clean filter going in. On the front you have the on-off button. This display that show you it's not a real timer for the grinding time, but it show you an estimation of what they think you should grind for a single dose or a double dose. And on the front you also have those 3 buttons. So you have your manual on off, you have your single, so it stop at a certain volume that you can program, and the same goes for the double. Then on this side you have the hot water, so the steam ones also can deliver hot water. So you have hot water and steam. Everything is heated with a thermocoil, just like in the other breville product. Not to test it or measure it, but from my experience with it, I did not ever encounter issue with those type of things. So you have a thermocoil inside that is used for everything. So obviously you cannot pull your shot of espresso and steam at the same time. And after pulling your shot of espresso, you need to wait, I would say, around 10 seconds for the steam to engage. And the steaming, it's powerful, it's okay. I think you're around, for 200 millimeters of milk, you would need around 40 seconds to heat it to 60 degrees Celsius. But with this machine you can have a really good textured milk, and because it's slow, it's easier, because you have time to texture your milk properly. On the bottom you have the drip tray. So this drip tray is really small. That's one of the things I think I hate most about this machine. The drip tray is really small. You need to empty it quite often. I think every 5 or 6 shots. It's even worse if you steam milk using the machine, because after each steaming session it will purge water through the thermocoil to cool the machine down. So you go, the reservoir is well adapted, but the drip tray, you fill it up quite quickly, and you end up with, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but you have, even if the drip tray is like this empty, you have water going under the drip tray. It's not a pleasant experience, and you have an indicator like on other breville products that will pop up from the drip tray, a little red thing that go out to say, hey, empty me. But if you steam milk, again, you're positioning the steam one, so when it's hot, the steam goes in the hole, and it's splashing water everywhere, even when the little red signet is not up. And once you have water everywhere, it's really annoying. So you need to, every 5 or 6 cappuccino, in my case, because you use water and you use more water to steam, more water at least that goes out in the drip tray. Yeah, every 6 milk drink, you need to empty the drip tray. What did I forget? It's a vibratory pump machine. You can adjust the temperature of the brewing water. You can go from 88 to 96 degrees Celsius. I don't change temperature that often because you need to use a combination of button. It's annoying. I just drink medium roast usually, so 92 degrees works well for me. And yes, you can also use. It's not a real pre-infusion. Actually, yes, more like a small blooming phase. So the pump will integrate water for 2 to 3 seconds. You can adjust it on your coffee. Wait 2 or 3 seconds and kick the full on. I think it's 12 bar. The steam wand, to finish on the steaming part. It's not an insulated steam wand, and the milk tend to curdle up really fast on the steam tip. So here I have a sponge that I use to wipe the milk. When I'm on my real setup, I don't use this machine anymore, but what I used to have is a cloth just next to it. I wet it a bit with the steam, and I use it to wipe the milk. Wetting the cloth with a bit of steam make it way more easier. You just need to be careful to have 2 or 3 layers of cloth between your hand and the steam, otherwise you could burn yourself. So if you forget and the milk curdle up, you just take a sponge to do the dishes, to wash the dishes, a bit of water on it, and you just scrub on it. It's really easy, 1 or 2 scrub and it's all clean, all good to go. This little screen that I talk about, so for this little screen I have to use, for the grinder, it tells you an estimation, even if it's a false estimation, an estimation of if you are grinding for 1 dose or 2 doses. But what is pretty handy is for the grinder, the estimation works on the time. So even if it's not counting real second, you know that, for instance, I will show after, if I ground to 1.3, I will have a pretty consistent dose every time with pretty consistent. You have 1 gram margin, plus or minus 1 gram, but it's okay if you don't want to be too precise. Otherwise, you just then take your portafilter out and weigh your dose. Before I continue on the grinder, the drip tray. Inside the drip tray, as you can see, you have a part for the water, a small container for ground. I will explain a bit more later. But under this, like on many brewing products, you have some tools. So for instance, here you have a single. So here, for instance, I have my single basket with sitting on it. I have the little rubber piece for backflush. I have a group cleaning brush here, and here is the little tool with a needle to plug inside the steam wand. If you don't flush it before and after steaming, remove any milk that could be stuck in the steam wand and that would have cooked, basically, and create a particle that would block the flow. So you have this little tool where you can just stick it inside and destroy the clamp. On the steam wand, you can remove your tip also for cleaning. I think it's every 2 months or something like that. You have a little light that will come up to indicate you that you need to make a cleaning cycle. So the machine just do the cleaning cycle itself. If I remember properly, you need to maintain the power button and the double dose button, and it will just run through water. And then you just need, you add a little bit of product in the reservoir, then you wash it, put fresh water, and you do the cleaning step a second time just to rinse everything so you don't have a product in your coffee later. So on the grinder part, so as I explained before, it's a conical burr grinder. You can single dose with it, but I will explain a bit more how it functions on this machine, which is a bit different than on other breville products. And you will understand why it's a bit annoying. So on this grinder you have a 250 gram burr, and that is a bit darkened to avoid UV degradation on the bean. It's well sealed, honestly. The beans are pretty well in there. So you turn all this to align the little mark to choose your setting, your grinding setting. And then to grind, you need to always you stick your portafilter. They say tap and go. It's not tap and go. It's you need to always go down. You have a little light here that will show you what's going on inside your portafilter, but yeah, you need to always be actuating it. If you remove pressure, it stops. And the problem with that is that mostly with single grinding, because we have no back pressure from all the bean on top, it's really slow. It's really slow. You honestly spend, I think, 50 seconds just being like this, waiting. So in the end, everything come out. It's a really good single dose grinder, but you need to wait a very long time. So that's why that's one of the reasons why I stopped single dosing. This part only truly fits the portafilter that comes with this machine. It has the same shape as other breville portafilter, but this one, it's not a 54, it's a 58 portafilter, so it's good for the temper. You have a lot of choice of temper, but for the portafilter itself, you almost can't. Nowadays you can find some tools, some doser made for this portafilter or bottomless portafilter with this design. I know that 2 years ago I spent a lot of time searching for one, and when I finally found one, it wasn't fitting properly the machine, so I could cause some damage, so I stopped using it. For a moment I was trying to grind with a funnel on top of my portafilter to avoid the ground going everywhere. It really wasn't handy, so in the end what I end up doing is I have this dosing cup, the head of my bottomless portafilter, and I just keep it in there, and it's well centered on there, and I just need to actuate the switch and it grinds with honestly really low static. Not much clamping with this grinder and not a lot of static. I think that is majorly due to the fact they are using conical burrs, but don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. But the only thing I can tell you is you don't have a lot of retention if you want to single dose. It's annoying with the way you activate the grinder, and you don't have a lot of static, and it's not the grinder don't clump really much. So with just the single, with just this cup under, it's really good to work through for me, because the only time when I was using the portafilter, it would make a mount on the portafilter, and when I was going out, most of the time it was bumping against this, and a grind would go everywhere, so you didn't have static, but you would still have the coffee mess. And now with the dosing cup, because it's so deep, obviously you don't fill it to the top for an 18-gram basket. So it's really clean on that part. And the first thing I showed you is there was a little bin here. The goal of breville was when you make a mess, removing the portafilter, you can just sweep all the ground inside of there and scoop it in the trash. But honestly, with this thing, you don't need this dosing cup. It was €3 on AliExpress, and the portafilter head, honestly, I don't remember, but I think yeah, it was something like €20, so a bit expensive on this part. At the beginning come with a plastic temper, which is really bad. I changed it quite quickly, and right now I'm using a quick mill 58.3mm temper that I got with my main espresso machine. it also comes with a milk jug. It's not this one, but it's really similar to this one. I remember it was a good jug. Make a coffee. I will show you how you can make a coffee with my little hack on this side. So you just turn on the machine. I am already dialing for my coffee. I don't use the pre-infusion setting that much. The pump goes on for 1 second, stop for 1 second, and go back on. So it's almost nothing. Up. To grind, I will push down on this. You can see it start grinding. You can see on the screen there's a little grind, it shows your grinding. And this number, it's an estimation. But for me, I know 1.3. Yeah, I know there I can stop. I have my good coffee dose. I can just go to my portafilter. Boom, boom, boom. You can see my cup is a bit dirty, but the inside is clean. You don't have coffee stuck everywhere. No coffee were flying everywhere. And on the portafilter, the grind, they are fluffy. Really little clumping. Then you can just make a good temp. And there you go, you're ready for your extraction. So I can just slide my portafilter. I will first pour the shot of espresso. As you can hear, the tank is a bit noisy, but it's honestly okay. And when you are doing your coffee extraction, this screen you have the timer for your extraction. It's really handy. On this machine you have some feature that you don't have on way more expensive coffee machine, so that's really good. Up. So I use a volumetric dosing. So for 18 grams of coffee, I program this button to have around 38 grams out. Usually it fluctuates between 38 and 40. I turn on the steaming, so you will see the steam wand purging. And now the thermocoil is starting to heat up. Meanwhile, I can I made a bit of a mess. There you go, good wipe, as I was saying, and you're done. When I started steaming, I removed the portafilter, and I don't know if you could see it on the camera, but usually the puck are a bit soupy. You have a bit of water that's being stuck on the coffee puck, even when you're using the correct dose. That's just the way it is with this machine. That was right now it's doing what I was telling you about earlier. So it's cooling down the machine for to be prepared for another espresso shot. It's important to let it do its thing, even if you want just to shut the coffee machine down after, because otherwise you could have steam blocked on the thermoblock and the machine being stuck a bit. If you want to steam two milk back to back, and you don't want for the machine to cool down, what you can do is I will pull my cappuccino. Oh. A steaming error, it's not due to the machine, it's operator error on this side. So what I was saying is, if you want to steam 2 jugs of milk back to back, what you can go is go in steam mode, steam a jug of milk, go back, stop the steaming, you shut the machine right after, and when the machine goes back up, because it did not cool the thermocoil, you can go back to steaming in 1 second. Just one thing to really think about is if you want to, for instance, there I'm leaving the machine, I will not use it after. So in this case, I really need to let the machine cool off. Otherwise, I could have a bubble stuck inside the tube, blocking the whole flow of the machine. It already happened to me, I think 4 or 5 times, and it's not a pleasant experience. So yeah, that's basically it, I think. This is a really great machine for just the price tend to be on sale. They tend to be on sale at 400 €, but right now I think the price augmented a bit, and you find it more around 500 or 550. But honestly, if you're passionate about coffee, this is a really unpopular option from a big brand, and with 58mm portafilter, so it's really good to find a cheap but good accessory, except for the bottomless portafilter, which is a bit more difficult. But outside of this, you can really have a great machine for not a small price, because it's still expensive, but compared to other type of machine, this is a really good product with a lot of features for a good price. So it can really be, if you want to go into espresso and buy an espresso machine, it should really be in your consideration. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you enjoyed this type of content, please tell me in the comments. I will probably, when I'm back at my home, I will probably do a review of my quick meal Vetrano and my modded Mother Super Jelly. And yeah, hope you enjoy it, and thank you for watching.